in the building.
We are back. We're
Once
here.
again.
We are back again with another episode of Shift Real Talk TV.
Shift Real
Man,
Talk
listen,
Tuesday.
man. How was you guys' week, man? How was your day today, sweetie? You know what I mean?
Mine
Like,
was good.
it was good.
Yes, I created me a good day.
Man, listen, man. My day was full of rest. We had an eventful weekend.
Right.
Man, let me tell you, I enjoy doing ministry, man. I really do.
Yeah.
Cause I feel honored when we're able to help change the mindset of people. Cause
Right.
that is my desire.
That's it.
I pray to God about this every day. Lord, it's my
Every
desire
day.
to just change the mindsets of your people.
That makes me feel good because that means that you found your purpose and I have work to do. So I'm not a frustrated wife sitting on the sideline. But okay, listen, wait. We didn't introduce ourselves. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, we want to say thank you for coming in to Shift Real Talk Tuesdays, where we are a love, life, and relationship podcast. We talk about love, life, and relationships with real people, with real issues, in real relationships, and we keep it funky. Anyway, my name is Lady Free,
And I'm your boy, Pastor J.
and we are here
Live
once again.
in living color, in color live.
Yes, in our favorite studio, Sacred Stone Studios.
Yo, we are
here in Houston, Texas.
Here in Houston, Texas.
Now, listen, our topic for today is why you asking all them questions? In relationships, people have a lot of questions. So, as Pastor Jay was saying, we love doing ministry. So, this past weekend we had a marriage class, our first marriage class.
Yes.
We had a full participation. It was so amazing. And usually in every session we do, no matter what we do in any event, we always ask our participants, look, put a question, a relationship question in a little bucket, and we're going to pull questions and ask. And that conversation, when it gets started, it usually just goes on and on. People don't want to go home. They want to stay and continue to talk. So that's a situation we had this weekend. The only thing about it, this was our first time ever not being able to get into our questions because the conversation prior to was so dope. It was so raw. It was so real. It was so funky. And we have like a sneak preview. We're gonna
wait, just before we just giving people a little time. Just
give
them a little time, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. I got excited.
Yeah, you got excited. We gonna delve
Mind
in.
provoking,
You know?
hey baby.
Hey baby girl. I called her by her government. I'm sorry.
So yeah, the marriage class.
God allowed me.
Come on.
God allowed me. Well, God gave me. He placed inside me a course, a marriage course, and and it's designed to, like I said, to really bring back, giving information to people who are really saying this. I'm done.
Out.
And you'd be surprised how many people are just at their wits' end, and there's not a lot of information, out there to really help us to navigate through times of not knowing what to do when those times come up. So God allowed us to put together a class, and Sunday was our first class.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was
nice.
Exclusively for marriages. Mm-hmm. We had one couple there they're on the road to marriage, but God allowed us to meet them. Great people.
Right, and people,
we just surrounded them, around other marriages so that they could see, hey, listen, man,
we've been through it too.
Yeah, we've been through too. Where y'all at? We've been through it. You know?
And a lot of times people come to us when they're on the brink of divorce. But what they don't realize is divorce is just a symptom of a problem. Divorce is not the problem. So we got a chance to get down to
the result of the symptoms, because
come on,
yeah,
okay,
it's the
that's
result.
That's better said.
It's
the
result of the symptoms.
So we
and or the result of us sweeping the symptoms under the rug and not being able to deal with it. So yes.
So it was like the footage we're about to show you. It's like it's not scripted. It's not like a play or anything. It's a real actual
Kim, Keith Baker, what's going
situation.
on, fellas and
So
sis?
basically,
Yeah. So what we gonna do?
Yeah.
We gonna dip because again we got a long way to go.
Yeah, we got some questions
and so
today.
we wanna have time to do it. We don't want to run out of time. So
we
those of
promised
you
we
coming
would bring
in
the questions.
and you miss it, you just have to come back and only catch the replay.
Yeah, you gotta catch it on the replay.
So listen, just gonna play y'all just a little.
We
clip.
gotta move. We gotta move.
Yeah, just a little clip of what happened on Sunday, and y'all enjoying it. We're gonna come back and then we're gonna further deal with what that we didn't have an opportunity to deal with the day of. So come on, y'all just check this out. Look, check a little
out this little clip.
In that situation, it was the woman was ready to talk and the man wasn't.
We can't see.
Situation,
It's not.
It's
not showing.
She been
Okay,
me.
it's showing.
Why?
I want the answers now, and it been going on for 3 months.
I done gave the answers. He just don't want to accept the answers. That's the thing. I gave you the answers. You don't want the answers that I'm giving you. That's the thing.
And her answer is divorce right now, and that's not the answer I want.
My wife wants divorce. She went to the police. I had to trust God.
Come on,
I did.
baby. Come on,
I
baby.
literally poured out to God. And
Come on
the
with
day
it.
she was getting ready to leave,
Come on with it. Watch him work.
the day she was getting ready, she had made up her mind and said, and to the point, I called her grandmother. Her grandmother knew nothing what was going on. And I just told her, pray. I couldn't get nothing out. When she came home, I just knew that was it. She came home, I was sitting in the chair, she kneeled down before me, she said, baby, I'm not going anywhere. God worked it. God worked it.
Y'all started praying together. I mean, me and my wife, we still struggle with it. You know what I mean? But when we do pray together, everything be so mellow and so clean. Hey, baby, hey, you know what I mean? Like, we still learning too, you know what I mean? And we never get too old to learn, you know what I mean? So, I give my number, you know what I'm saying?
What y'all don't understand is the pictures that y'all painted says a lot about how your marriage is and what's going on. So when you painted that extra blue border, it was almost like a mommy trying to make sure that the baby don't mess up. But he feels that. Even though he didn't know what she was doing or saying, he feels that.
It's staying
So-
inside. When you're painting, it's like staying inside of the lines. When you go outside of the lines, and you're handling it on your own. That's why I invite y'all here. For divorcing, not an option right now.
That's how I feel, but that ain't how she feels.
So you can't be walking around the house and not speaking to somebody you say you love. That just it don't say that don't make sense. So but see the thing with me and my wife, what we do, because we trust me, we have issues and everything, but I never, because I made a vow to love her in what? In sickness and in health. For richer or for poor. These are the vows we made. Sometimes we gotta go back to that. Because guess who was standing here when we made these vows? God. He's standing right there. So we gotta invite God into the relationship, because when you invite God, guess what you realize? This is just an issue. We can come back to the issue, but we still gonna be interacting as a married couple because we are in relationship.
The
So
enemy is here to destroy. And I can think God lifts up a
Standing, come on.
Okay, so I want everybody to go forward in a circle. Whoa. Whoa.
Man, did you feel that?
Did you feel the transformation of the mindset?
I'm talking about the transparency.
Yes.
In this class where, man,
Hey, how
people
y'all
was
doing?
just saying, look, I just want to be real about what's going on in my life. Aunt Liza, Kim,
Hey, and Darren, y'all are on.
Darren,
Listen, y'all.
thank you guys so much for joining today.
This was so dope. This truly was dope,
And
man.
that was just a snippet.
I had like I said, I had the privilege of meeting these people.
Yeah.
The couple, one of the couples were referred to us at the last minute, man. They came, we connected with them on the way to divorce, came to the class and said, because of what you guys did, we're going to work it out. We're going to work it out. We're going to try to work it out. So we got a victory report. And we're going to ride this train with them.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure through this journey that we're going to stick by them and make sure that they're on the journey to being healthy and happy.
Yes.
And what bothers me a lot is that a lot of people say marriage is hard. It's hard. It's a lot of work. No, it's not. I don't know why we've been conditioned to believe that it's hard. We make it hard. We make it hard.
Yeah, it's not the marriage. It's the two people in the marriage who chooses to stay hard-hearted, like we talked about last week, and want things to go their way.
Yes.
The only thing that makes it hard is the hard heart that you're dealing with in the relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then too, just being at a place, me and my wife, and I thank God for the experience that we went through, because we're able to now have a communication above all other communications that I was able to have. And a lot of times, I hear a lot of people saying, because this was one of the things that was addressed, it's about trying to find out what you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is why we came up with, why are you asking so many questions? And then a lot of, we ask a lot of questions because we want to know how you hurt me, why you hurt me, what you did.
I need details.
I need details. And a lot of times we're not even in the position, our hearts are not ready for the detail. Our hearts are not ready for the details. And like I said, tell them how we was talking today about why we were able to talk about the details.
Well, we after breaking up for those 3 years that we broke up, because of it wasn't infidelity because we weren't married.
Yeah, we weren't married. Yeah,
it was because he went outside of our relationship, and if I had tried to get the details while I was still hurting and broken, while my heart was still not healed, I wouldn't have been able to do anything with those details, but be even more hurt. Getting more details wouldn't have helped. But later down the line, 3 years later, when we actually got back together after God had worked on my heart and healed me and worked on him in his life, we were able to actually talk now. So now we could talk about what happened. And a lot of the details that we talked about, we would talk about the relationships that we had been in our past. We wasn't trying to get details from each other so that we can see how you hurt me. It wasn't about me. That's not why I wanted the details, because I enjoy having these deep conversations with my husband about past relationships and what he's been through and how he handled certain things and what was the relationship like. And those things tell me a lot about him. It's not the details I need so that I can know how he hurt me or what he did to me. It's basically for me to see, okay,
how you existed, what did you do? So asking these questions,
that's how you handle that.
That's
okay. So then we got a chance, because of the wholeness and the healed heart that we had, that we were coming with now, we got a chance to actually break down and dissect a lot of the stuff that we had gone through. But you can't do that when your heart is hurting, when your heart is still broken. You can't do that.
You ain't ready for it.
Those details will only hurt you even more.
Now check this out. Now we didn't get a chance to do the illustration at the class, so we're gonna do a little quick illustration before we get into this. Now here's a wine cup. Now I wouldn't say a wine.
It's a little goblet.
It's a little goblet. That's what you call it. But if you notice, if y'all can see this little cup, right? It's how a wine glass is. This will never. If I put it right here, it'll never stand up. You know why it won't stand up? Because it's missing the foundation.
It's missing the stand.
It's missing what keeps it standing.
What keeps it
Yeah.
standing.
So the thing is, it'll always keep falling down. There's no foundation to keep it up.
And the purpose that it's designed for, it will never be able to fulfill the purpose because it does not have a firm foundation.
It doesn't have a
stand
foundation
on.
to stand on.
And that's what a lot of these marriages look like, and a lot of these relationships look like when they don't have the foundation of God to stand on.
Don't have. Hey, Keisha and Scooter, we miss y'all guys. Pray all is well with you guys.
Hey, Sonia.
Yeah. So this glass is a wine glass. It won't stand without the foundation.
It won't stand.
Even if I put the two together to try to make a balance, it still ain't gonna stand.
And after a while, if they were glass, if you try to stand them up,
the glass gonna
it'll
break. The glass gonna break.
And now you acting like something's wrong with the glass because it broke, but it wasn't that. It was the fact that the glass had nothing firm to stand on.
Nothing firm to stand on.
And you know what I noticed too? A couple of those marriages that were there, the only reason why they desire divorce is because they don't feel secure in their marriage.
Yeah.
It's not because of infidelity. It wasn't that. It wasn't because of the fact that this person did something really major. It's just the fact that the husband wasn't taking the responsibility that made his wife feel secure. And so because she was feeling unstable and shaky, she got afraid, and her fear caused her to say, I can't do this no more.
Yes.
I can't do this anymore.
Elijah said, people process hurt differently. And in different times, I would just want clarification because the hurt is too familiar just from a different source. Well, the people hurt differently, but the source to heal the hurt is the same.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we never allow the healer to heal us. We try to look for the answers when God say, listen, look toward me and I give you rest. I give you peace. And that's one thing we had to do. And we're only telling you what works because we went through the same thing. Well, I really hurt her. I did. But I had to really spend time with myself and allow God to heal me from the hurt that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And I don't care what she did until I was able to heal internally. No, I don't care what she did. It always triggered my hurt.
And
it always triggered it.
No amount of details.
Yeah, no amount.
It's going to make you feel better. Knowing what he did, how he did it, what she did, how she sounded, where were y'all at? These, if you really think about it, these are just things that feeds more into the flesh. These are things that cause you to have more things to work with in your mind to kind of fill in the gaps of the story that you already put out there in your own mind. And idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Yeah.
So before asking for a lot of details about the hurt that someone caused you, go to God first and ask God to help deal with the hurt first.
So then when you, like I said, because you got to be in the right heart
and
the right mind frame. Your heart cannot be hardened to receive information. It will not get through.
Because the only thing you'll do is throw it back in that person's face.
You throw it back with a dart at the end of it.
Or hold on to it like a grudge.
Yes.
You know, so even though it seems like getting that information at the time will help, lay it all out on the table. That's what we gonna
lay it out. We gonna get to the end, and you can't handle that information.
Not right now.
You can't handle that information. You gotta be.
There's a time and a season for everything.
Yes. So we had some questions, and we told them that we were gonna kind of come back and kind of deal with these questions that we didn't get a chance to finish on that day. It was awesome. It was just so awesome. The time ran out on us. You can go first.
Ladies first. Okay, so the question that I'm going to pull is,
Liza, we're going to come back to that. So hold on to that. We're not going to forget you.
Someone asked, why do you not value my opinions?
Ooh, you know who? Just so crazy because I know who wrote that.
Don't say it.
I already know who wrote that. Listen, most women want to feel like they are heard.
Absolutely.
Most women want to feel like they are heard, and a lot of time, like we were saying in the class, we were saying how there's a level of protection that men walk around with. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of answers we don't know. A lot of times we don't want to perceive that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it also comes from how we receive what you're telling us. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times women will say something and they say it with the attitude like, you ain't listening to me and that's what's wrong with you now. And you gonna and it's like shut down. Okay, boom, I gotta make a decision and I don't feel like you're with me. And we gotta really understand that love. I was telling this to somebody today. I said, a lot of times certain people are just low on love. And if I have love to give, because that's what we were made up to do. That's the fruit of the spirit, baby. And love is gonna you'll get a lot more from just showing a level of love. If I'm coming to you with a loving heart, then you're gonna respond to me with a loving response. Even if I know, and I should know that you were created to be my helper, but I mean it happens, we feel like you're attacking me. You are saying stuff to me that may demean how I feel as a man.
Well, that's not even always the case though, because sometimes you have situations where you can, as a woman, and I know it's a lot of women out there that can attest to this, that we come in the best way we know how, and still feel like what we're saying is falling on deaf ear. So the whole thing is, yes, in a marriage, in a relationship, as women, we feel like that we have something to contribute.
You do.
So right, we actually do. So at the end of the day, why wouldn't my opinion to you be validated? Why is it that you don't seem like you value my opinion?
Yeah, Kim said, yes, hear me out. I didn't ask you to fix it. Just hear me.
Just hear me.
Just hear me. But Kim, to be fair now, a lot, like I said, a lot of times most women do not know how to convey that. All I just want you to do is hear me. Well, and it's, some come with a point of even the very gestures will you got to be very careful with even the look. There's a look. But there's a gesture, a pointing of the finger. Those things.
There is. But at the same time, it seems like we're so quick to make it seem like the woman comes so wrong at the man, especially if what she's asking him about or what the conversation is causing him to have a hard conversation he don't want to have. But when a woman comes to a man, why does it seem like she's always the one being blamed for this? But the man, he can come to her any kind of way and say it however he want to say it, and we just got to take it. Why is that? Because I don't think that's right.
No. Again, like I said, it's like here on Liza said, no, men are very dismissive. Prime example, just turning off or disconnect the Bluetooth. No, so again, it is not what you say. It's how you say
That's coming from both ends, though.
Yeah, I understand it's coming from both ends. But see, me, like I said, and it goes back to what we said in the beginning. See, me, I allow God to deal with me. Because a lot of times, you expecting a broken man at that, or a man that has not healed, you expecting him to hear you trying to tell him how to, and almost like you're trying to tell him or come against what he need to fix. In other words, but an
opinion is not always a tell how to. A lot of times an opinion is just in the conversation we're having as two adults. This is how I feel about a situation, or this is my thought on it. So I feel like regardless of what, and it should be valued. Yeah. It should definitely be.
It should definitely be valued, but right. You will only feel valued if your approach is, baby, listen,
receivable.
You know what I'm saying? It's receivable. Right. But no matter what, and then here's the thing too, remember this. Some grounds are not ready for you to put seed in it.
They have to be broken up.
They have to be broken up.
Too hard.
And a lot of us still, and then some of us are just drop. You ain't gonna listen, and we dropping the seed and expecting the seed to grow. You can't do that. Some ground we have to prepare to put the seed in. You know what I'm saying? So and then too, prepared. And if it's not ready, there's still a level of tilling that has to go on. There still have to be a level of plowing that has to continue to go on until that ground is ready to receive the seed.
And trust. The stuff that God has, I was telling my coworkers today, I said I didn't have anybody to walk with me through these steps that we're teaching now. because I had to go to God myself. I didn't have a person, a mentor, somebody to walk alongside of me to help me understand. I had to go straight to the source and pray and read my Bible. God, please help me. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to navigate this situation, because my husband's attitude at times was very, very abrupt. It was very harsh when he was going through his pain in the season where he was going through growth, them growing pains and all of that stuff. But one thing that I had to do as the woman in the relationship, a lot of times I had to go and say, okay, God, I really need you. I need you. And I had to go find scriptures in the Bible and speak God's language back to him and say, this is what's going on. And people don't understand how powerful it is. And they would hear me talk about these things and say, well, that don't work for everybody. But yes, it does. Yes, it does, because if you look over here, I'm a living witness that it does work. And not only with him, with other women that I've talked to and explained this to, and they actually took it seriously because they wanted a better relationship, they can attest to it does work. When you cry to God and say, God, he's not listening. Anytime I say anything out of my mouth, it's almost like he puts this wall up, or he puts his defenses up, like I'm coming after him. I need your help. And God will start working on his heart. Well, actually not start, continue working on his heart, because you just went to another realm and asked for permission for him to intercede, because he's not going to push his way into it. He wants to be invited.
Elijah said, well, God put men in charge of the garden. Let's say that it truly is true, Aunt Liza. Guess what? That man still has a head, because God is the head of every man.
Exactly.
And the head of every man is woman. So there's still a level of authority that man has to submit to. The authority is submitted to God. And what he did was he gave man responsibility in the garden.
And that's what needs to happen.
And that's what needs to happen, that we allow the man to be responsible into what God has given him to do. Absolutely. So we can't come in as women, and we do this. We try to say no, and we try to direct the responsibility that God has given to the man.
As women,
I'm sorry, well, not we. Well, I'm saying not. don't get it twisted. But that's what we have to do. We have to allow. I'm saying as a
women
people,
have to.
Women have to allow men to be in relationship with God. So if you feel like that man is not doing what he's supposed to do, then what you do as the woman is not try to get him in his place. You talk to God so God can get him in place, and then when God lines him up, then he lines the whole thing up. But that's what I'm saying. And this is where the issue comes in at. Yeah. We're trying to tell him, and we're going against the authority of God.
And we say, oh, it don't work, but you didn't give it an opportunity.
You didn't give it an opportunity to work.
You was too busy trying to see the results, and it didn't happen fast enough. Not you as in a certain individual. I'm just saying you in general.
Exactly.
It's like when we don't give it an opportunity to work, because God don't run fast. God he walks in the coolness of the day.
Exactly.
He takes his time, because when he does it, he wants it to be done right. And there are lessons that man has to learn along the way. Woman has to learn along the way as God deals with us, that if we don't see it happen fast enough and we interject, then they don't learn the lessons, and now we're mad at that person because God, I prayed and it didn't. No, you didn't allow it time.
Yeah. Robin, what's up, sis? Lasagna said Eve was Adam's helpmeet. That's right. Yeah. She was not his direction. She was not directing his traffic. She wasn't his mama. She wasn't his auntie. She wasn't his grandmother. She was his help meet.
Yes.
And what does help meet do?
Look at your husband. See what it is he needs help
with. Him to fulfill his purpose.
Right.
If you are not there to help him fulfill his purpose, and you coming in with what you desire to get done because you need, that's not a help me. Then you need to get your cup filled so that you can be the help me that God has called you to be. So you can pour into this man and not pour and see a lot of oh my God, we got another testimony, but we'll tell it later. This pastor was telling me and my wife that the reason why God didn't bring y'all so in the forefront just yet because you had to grow down.
You have to grow down first.
You had to grow down
before you can
grow up.
And this is the same thing that has to happen in these relationships and these marriages. And I'm just speaking to the women. I'm not speaking for all women. I'm just speaking to the women that I'm in relationship with in our marriage crew. Listen, you have to allow God to let him grow down first.
Grow down.
Before he grows up. But when he grows up, oh my God, it's like a mighty oak. And not even is it a mighty oak, on that tree, the fruit of your labor will be so sweet.
Yes.
The fruit of your labor. But see, nobody really wants to grow down because it's dirt. It's dark. It seems like nobody sees the stuff that's happening while the roots are growing down so that the foundation can be strong. I'd rather them roots grow down longer and the foundation be strong. And I may not see what God is doing, but I'm just believing he's doing so that when that tree, that my husband, and I'm a living witness, I'm watching it happen before my eyes, grows up, and the fruit that he bears on that tree, I can pick from that tree, and now I can be nourished because I allow God to nourish me while he was growing down so he can grow up. That's the formula. And it's not going to always be easy, but it's worth it.
That's right. Robin said, approach is key. The approach should be from the perspective of partners tackling issues together. Not us attacking one another.
Yes,
exactly.
He hurt me.
Yes,
he did. I don't take that away from him. But listen, if he had not done that and God hadn't allowed us to make it through it with God, then I wouldn't be able to relate to a lot of the women that come to me.
Yes.
They would be like, how you going to tell me anything? You can't relate to what I'm going through. Yes, exactly. I can. And I went through it. And I came out better for it. And he has learned a lot of lessons for it. So now he can teach men because of it.
Yes.
We got to allow God to let us continue to take us through this stuff and stop holding on to all this pain and trying to punish people because God is trying to get something through you. I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead.
Darren said, what is the ideal time? And what do you mean by the ideal amount of time?
There is none. There is none.
I want to know exactly what is he talking about as far as like what is the ideal time. Hey, Gladys. What's
up,
baby?
Hey, baby.
They have let loose that pride. They have to let loose that pride. That's right.
Yes.
Pride
they have
becomes
to let
fall.
loose pride.
But again, this is a problem that a lot of us have because we don't know how to hope. We don't know how to deal with issues. What we do is we hold on to how we deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, we hold on to how we
hold on to how we deal with it. And what are we holding on to? Protection, because we don't know how to deal with issues. And we think that, and the thing is that, and this happens a lot. And this is one thing I'm learning. A lot of times we use tactics to only feel like these tactics help us to deal with these traumatizing issues. You know what I'm saying? So what we do is we stay stuck. We said this in a couple of episodes ago, that we stay stuck at that level of what hurt us. We stay stuck at that level of trauma. We stay stuck there. And the only way we deal with it is by using these behaviors, anxiety, and or bipolarism. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, because it's like, when I say bipolarism, I mean being upset 1 minute and then happy another minute and then all over the place another minute, then argumentative 1 minute. That's all over the place, and we using this to guess what? To supplement from actually what hurt us, and not understanding that the way to deal with what hurt us is to really dig deep and say, Lord, I can't do this by myself. I can't. I don't even know, because that's one thing I say all the time. I didn't know how to heal my hurt. I didn't know how to heal with it.
That's good.
I didn't know how to heal it.
That's
I didn't even know how to deal with it. But I asked God, and slowly but surely, he began to show me who I was. Right. And when we see who we are as individuals and as people and as individually perfectly made in his image people, then we'll understand our purpose. So, because the thing is, these issues do not come to destroy us. They come to make us strong. To make us strong.
And I love how you said you did not know how to heal your hurt.
I didn't know how to do it. But I knew how to replace not dealing with it, though.
Right. And what would it look like for me to hurt him and beat him over the head when he's clearly doesn't even know how to heal his own hurt? So he's battling inside with his own hurt, and he know it's hurting me. But at the same time, in knowing that it's hurting me, that's called a stronghold.
Yes.
That's not a flesh on flesh thing. He's not doing it to hurt me.
Yes. And
even though
I'm sorry,
is
babe.
hurting me.
And it's unfair. It's truly unfair for us to hold somebody hostage about something that we have a
Man.
problem with. Did you hear what I said?
Come on.
It is something, and it is unfair for us to hold somebody else hostage for what we have a problem with.
And
But because guess what? That's an issue that that's inside of us. That
Come on.
we have, that you have this individual. I got a problem with the way you didn't make me feel. That's an issue that you have.
And you have
And
to
it's
deal
unfair.
with that.
And what we do is now we put our mates in punishment, or we put them in timeout because they were not able to meet what we should have already met inside of us. Because the thing is, when we come together to be with see, here's the key. That is coming together to be with somebody. You want that person to be with the person who is complete. You don't want somebody to be with the person that they got to fill these voids. That is unfair.
It's impossible.
Because now what you're doing is not only keeping that person in bondage, you're keeping your own self in bondage.
Yeah.
Now you holding yourself to your own level of thinking. And if you continue on, the word said that he'll turn you over to your level of thinking if you never allow God to handle it.
Yeah.
We got to move on to the next question.
Go,
I'm
please.
sorry. Understanding that capacity of self, mind-provoking. It's mind-provoking. She said, understanding the capacity of self and others without attacking the weaker part of us. Yes.
Without attacking
Yes.
the weaker part of us, we got to understand.
Yes.
I love that, mind provoking.
Yet understanding
I
the
love that.
internal conflicts with. Yes.
There's a oh, come on.
That's my niece right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Without the attack, without attacking the weaker parts of us.
Yes.
Yet understanding the internal conflict within. We have to learn that. Like, if I said I love you.
Yes.
I'm supposed to be able to show you that I love you. So the weaker parts of you, I'm not supposed to, if I see that you cannot get it together in a certain area, I'm not supposed to attack that because it's not filling me up.
Yes.
Because it's not my husband's job to fill me up. It's a void there that happened way before my husband got here. So he is not going to be able to feel. So instead of him being the better self he can be and growing with me in the relationship, he's stifled because he's trying to figure out how to fill me up. Yes. And his main job in the marriage has now become how to fill me up.
Instead of giving you and being the person who's supposed to cultivate you,
right.
Now he's trying to figure out who you are.
Right. Yeah, he's trying to fill a never-ending
he's trying to fill a void, which is not God. God never gave Adam that responsibility.
Never.
He never gave that. He said, I'm giving you purpose, and I'm going to give you somebody that's going to help you feel purpose. Right. He didn't say I was going to give you somebody you're going to have to help fill voids, because God said that's my weight.
And think about this. If you are so busy trying to make your mate fulfill your needs, then you have made that person an idol, because God says, I will supply all of your needs according to my riches and glory. So that person is not capable of supplying your needs. But you are making that person, you putting that person in the place of God, and God says he will not allow that. He's a jealous God. You can't have nobody that you put in a place that God says only I can fix. In that place, he's too small for that. She's too small for that. They can't fill that void. And it's very unfair for you to make them feel that they have to.
And on top of that, this is to me, is like to tell God what we not gonna deal with.
My goodness.
What you not gonna deal with. Right. I'm not dealing with this.
And God placed you in
his life.
God
placed you in his life or in her life.
To bring his purpose out of him.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you've been placed to bring the purpose out, it ain't what you're supposed to deal with. It's what you're supposed to push.
and you know what? In that push, God never asked you to do anything but stand still and
That's
know
right.
that I'm God.
Hey, Denise.
God never asked you to do any, well, why I got to do this for him and he ain't no. See, you're asking him to fulfill a void in your life that God says only I can fill. But what God is asking you to do is come to me. So
That's right.
together we can partner up and help deal with, I can use your mouth and the words you speak to him to heal him.
Hey, Mia.
He never asked us to do anything hard. He says, I'll do the work. I just need you to stand in the gap.
Yes. I just want to pause for the calls real quick. I got, hey, what's up, Marvin? Marvin is on here, my boy.
Marvin.
My sister, Robin, is on here, and my sister,
I know
Denise Knuckles.
E probably on the line,
Denise
too.
Knuckles and Pastor Mia Williams is on.
Yes.
Denise Knuckles, y'all, if any one of y'all financial needs, y'all go in the inbox.
Denise Knuckles, y'all know it's time to get them taxes done.
Get them
so
taxes.
She,
She
does
do
that
it all.
as well.
So look her up.
Babe, let's go to the next question.
Okay, so let's go to the next question, man. Because like I said, this marriage class was awesome, man. God opened some doors through this, man. So here's the thing: what is the best way to communicate with your wife after misunderstanding? You know what this tells me? You know what this tells me? Because what we miss in marriage is that communication should be automatic. When I say that, that means that you should be already finding out who this person is. That means you should communicate, ask questions, understand questions. So if there's a misunderstanding, I believe it's because you're not understanding. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
You're not understanding. You don't understand. You come in to be understood. That's how there is a misunderstanding. Because to be understood, you got to understand.
So you didn't come in to understand
Yeah.
your spouse or your friend that you're in a relationship with. You came in to be understood. You see how selfish that is?
Yes. Well, I need you because
You
that's
need to
really
understand
because
me.
normally that's where the communication breakdown is. When you coming in to be understood. Well, look, you make me feel this way and such and you I feel like and I feel like and I
And let me tell y'all about
and,
feelings.
Yeah,
Go
and when
ahead.
I get to talking,
Yeah.
then you just totally forget about we because it ain't to become a we, you have to first come in the conversation. Hey, how do you feel about? Because now you're getting an understanding.
A conversation.
Yes. How do you feel about such and such?
Like it was an instance on at the marriage class. Denise, by the way, while you're here, put your information in the chat. So just in case someone needs to get their taxes done or something like that, they can reach you. But listen, there was a instance in the class where we had a painting, and the painting was a picture of a piece of a puzzle. And the thing is, you're the best piece of me, and that's what the
right.
gist of the painting was. So we had a couple in there. His one of the guys, his lady tried to create a blue border because it was already a black border to show you where to paint. She wanted to create a blue border inside of the black border, and her reason was, she said, because I was trying to make it easier for him to stay inside of the lines. As a grown man, she was trying to make, because she said, I just didn't want him to go outside the lines.
Yes.
But the thing that shared with us is she didn't feel comfortable enough for him to do the job he needed to do to paint that to stay inside of the boundaries of that piece. So she had to help him stay inside of the lines. But the thing that we have to understand is that's how the misunderstandings happen, because he had no clue what she was trying to do. So while she was like, well, this is what I was trying to do. And Miss Kim said something that was very valid in that moment. She said, well, instead of saying, well, I was just trying to do this, and he's saying, well, I don't get it, I don't understand what you're saying. She said, why didn't you say, but baby, let me make a blue border around here so that we can make sure we stay inside of the lines. You see how easy that came out? And that could have been a conversation.
Yes. Mind Provoker said, asking to provide clarity goes a long way versus blaming what you did not have clarity on.
Right. If you don't know what that person is doing, say, babe, what you doing? Why are you what is it that you're doing? And then the person that's being asked the question cannot get on defense mode. Like, what you mean what I'm doing? Yeah. Like that person is supposed to know. So
the best way to deal with a misunderstanding is to understand. is to get an understanding.
To understand,
so that
not
you
try to
don't,
be
yeah,
understood.
so that you don't miss the understanding.
So you won't miss your opportunity to understand.
Yeah, you don't miss your opportunity. And that's so. Hey, Denzel is on. Denzel, what's up, bro?
Denzel.
Kenya Mary. So listen, here's the next question. Now, mind you, these are the questions that they asked at the marriage class, and we said we was gonna come back and talk about it. So here's the next one. What is the best way to avoid conflict? See, that's the issue. Avoid conflict. See what you see the key word there? Avoid. You cannot avoid conflict. I don't care what you do. We got to learn how to deal with conflict.
Deal with it.
It's not that we not gonna have problems. We got to learn how to deal with them.
Deal with it.
And when you avoid conflict, guess what happens? Another conflict.
Right.
From the avoidance.
Because
because what avoiding does, it allows us to get a learned behavior of avoiding.
Avoidance. Come on.
Of avoidance. That's a behavior. And you don't want to do it. You don't want to do that.
It becomes a pattern.
Here's the key to it though. You got to understand to know if there's a time and place for everything. Like if my wife, if I know right now I'm heated, I just know, okay, I'm not in a position to talk to her. So I'm not going to talk to her about it now, but we're going to continue, like we said in the class, we're going to keep going and keep acting like we married. She's going to keep having her marital responsibilities to her husband. We're going to relate. And then we calm down, and guess what?
That's not the only thing we're going to do, though.
Oh, but we're going to relate, though. Yeah.
That's not the only thing. Okay, so listen. The thing, too, is, let's just do a quick backstory. We did not always have this moment that he's talking about where we can just keep, even though there's a conflict, we say, okay, right now we can't deal with the conflict, and we're going to keep moving and come back to it when we're ready. We didn't always have that, did we, babe?
No, we didn't.
What did I say?
Ooh.
I used to do that.
That's you. Ooh. My wife used to do that. I thought something was wrong with. I'm like, what's wrong?
Because he wouldn't.
She turned into Hulk.
Because he wouldn't listen to me. He was
Yeah, because here, and this the thing. I love my wife. So if I know we are talking at each other, we're not listening. So why
and
sit
that's
there?
how we started.
So why sit into a
conversation
conversation where we're not hearing one another?
And he used to say this to me: "Shut up talking to me."
Because I know, because now at this
I'll
point,
be like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, because at that
and
point
now we're fussing about how he just addressed me.
And we gotta understand this, y'all. Words have power. Words have power. So if you say shut up, or if you say them little things, those things hurt. I was talking to somebody today and said, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never. That's a lie. That's a lie. You can pierce somebody without punching them in the head.
Okay, so let me finish the backstory real quick because I don't want to have a cliffhanger. So basically, we started off where I would get angry, like, girl, you just need to, and I would. That's how my frustration would come out because he wouldn't listen. So we went from that to him telling me to shut up, talking to him and all that stuff. And what he was really trying to say was, right now we can't talk about this. Am I right, babe?
That's right. We can't talk about it right now.
Instead of him saying that, he would tell me to shut up. And you don't tell me to shut up nothing. So that's how we used to do, right? And then it went from there to God helping me to understand and helping him to understand through my prayers how to better say that. So because I'll be like, first of all, don't tell me to shut up. Because when you tell me to shut up, this is what happens. So then it went from him telling me to shut up to him saying, babe, look, not right now. That still didn't go over well with me because I didn't really understand that. It was still dismissive to me. Because I didn't understand.
Yeah, but do you see where the conflict comes in at? The conflict comes in at because we go into dealing with the issue wanting to be heard.
Wanting to be heard.
So you got two people trying to be heard.
And then if you trying
to be heard, then guess what happens? You get two things going to happen. The volume is going to raise or the words are going to get harsher.
Yeah.
And at that point, somebody has to be smart enough to realize this is going to escalate.
Yeah.
And now what you're doing is you're passing boundaries. And you can't do that.
We're going outside the lines.
We're going outside the lines.
Yeah.
We got to stay inside those lines.
And then it went from that to me saying, God, I don't like how he talking to me. And I will say, you said that I'm your daughter. And as your daughter, I know you don't like men
Exactly.
talking to your daughters this way, you know. And then it went from that to then he would say stuff like, it went all the way from the heated
Yes.
to the almost heated to then he would say stuff like, babe, right now we can't talk about this because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah,
And then it went from that to now. We went through stages. It went from that to now, like, if we say certain things and like he say something that I don't like and we talk about it and we get to that point, well, now we know the level we can get to before we go outside the line. I'll say, okay, I'll call you back later when I get home. I'm on the way home. I'll call you back, or I'll talk to you when I get home. And we both know, okay, that's that moment where we can't go no further right now, and we'll talk about it later. And on my ride, the rest of the ride home, I'm saying, God, help fix this situation, because if I do it, I might do it the wrong way.
Mind Provoker said, conflict happens because two people's dialogue becomes conflict, meaning comprehending, understanding, and actively listening did not occur.
Did not
That's the
occur.
whole
Come on, Mind
point.
Provoking.
That's the whole point. Lasagna, hey, cuz family, decrease yourself and remember that we and not I. Exactly.
Yes. And Darren says a lot of these principles take time. That's right, Darren. You got to grow down first.
A lot of these
can grow up.
principles take practice.
Practice. Come on.
They take practice.
Come on.
Because the thing is, they'll only take time if we don't initiate.
It's a
If
process.
we don't continue to do it. So
It's a process.
Because
That's
the thing
right.
is, once you do it, then you'll learn to do it again.
Yeah.
Then you'll learn it. It's only thing it is a change behavior.
It's a learned
It's
behavior.
a change
but it's
behavior.
healthy.
It's doing something different.
Yes.
That's it. And,
Yes.
and it won't take as much time as because what we do is we go back to what we feel works for us and not practicing.
It didn't.
But see, that's what wisdom is.
Yeah.
And that's why we say that. Wisdom is executing information.
My goodness.
So once you have the information, you gotta put it
Execute
in.
it.
You gotta put it in motion, and I promise you, it won't take a long time at all.
And what it will do is it'll kill your flesh. Because your
Yes.
flesh is in control when you're doing that. So then after a while, when you're putting these good principles into practice, then after a
I
while,
love my niece.
man, you'll end up doing it even more and more. And after a while, it'll just happen. It'll just come. And then you finish with that one. As soon as you finish fixing that problem and that thing in your life, then something else will pop up. And now you got to start working on that.
Yes, targets. That's right, Kenya. Targets. Indeed. Two people can't be heard at the same time. That's why it takes one of y'all to say, you know what?
Right now,
we ain't gonna talk about it. But you still need to interact.
Yes.
Because again, like I said, once the emotions come, because again, at that point, when two people are talking at the same time, now you're talking at emotions.
Right.
And you're not talking to, and when your emotions are on a high, and you ain't listening,
Your
nobody
emotion-
listening.
Yeah.
You're talking at each other. So let the emotions calm down.
Yeah.
And how do you calm down? By still, hey baby, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know, hold my hand.
I still cook.
I
still fix his plate.
And guess what? And what we learned by putting that in practice is that, dang, what we was arguing about in the first place, it wasn't even that serious.
It was a misunderstanding.
It was a misunderstanding.
Because then once we calm down and emotions are no longer
Yeah.
taking over our conversation, then it's like, babe, okay, you
Yes.
know what? I thought you were saying this. No, that's
No,
not what I was
that's not
trying
what
to
I was
say.
saying.
Misunderstanding.
Mind-provoking application.
Okay,
That's right.
I have two comments I want to read. Robin says, so lines and boundaries have to be drawn and ground rules have to be established so that conflict can be resolved and not avoided.
Exactly.
Meet conflict head on. And conflict is not a bad thing. How you deal with it is a bad thing if you don't deal with it properly.
Exactly.
Kim Scott says that's why you can't give up so early in the marriage, because when you put years in, what bothers you in year 5, it will not be an issue in year 10. You have practiced the principles. And then Mia Williams says, practice and grace. See, you hear all this practice? Practice. She says you have to extend grace to yourself if you don't get it right every time. Extend grace to yourself. That's good, Mia. And then she says, but also grace for your partner, because they may not be where you are.
Exactly.
Sometimes
Come on,
your
Pastor.
actions have to be the teacher. Come on, Mia. That was beautiful. Extend grace. And then Aunt Liza says, absolutely. Practice brings about change, and there's no reason for excuses. We have to practice on both ends, because sometimes we don't even realize the damage we're causing because we are not giving ourselves the grace when we mess up. So we have to extend grace to ourselves. I like that, Mia.
And there's a different, and I want to piggyback on what Pastor Mia said. She said, sometimes you got to become the teacher. And all that is, to me, is holding them accountable. Yeah. And your and holding them accountable is not throwing up the wrong, because the scripture says, well, love holds no record of wrong.
Right.
It holds no record of wrong. So it's not us teaching with the accountability of holding them to being wrong, but showing them, because again, sometimes people's practice can get thrown off because again, you're filtering through a learned behavior. You're filtering through a learned behavior.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, babe, you forgot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a reminder.
Yeah.
And sometimes, because again, when you have your kid or whatever the case is, when they do wrong, you don't say, oh, that ain't an excuse for you to do wrong. What you do is now you teach them and continue to show them, and you show them in a level of love.
But it changes when you're a spouse, because that person is not your child. So it's not a matter of you constantly saying, see, okay, come on, remember what we talked about. Okay, look, you see how you did that. Remember now, we said this. See, every time you that's not your place. You speak to that person as an adult, another adult you're having a conversation with.
Yes.
And if that adult does not comprehend or get it right every time, when you see that they're trying, give them that grace. And then don't always say a corrective measure. Sometimes just leave it in God's hands and say, okay, God, I see that they're trying, so that means you're working.
Let's move on to the next question. This is good.
We have 2 minutes.
We're going to deal with this, because we got to deal with this.
Okay.
How do I deal with lying in the marriage?
Oh, we're not going to be able to get to that.
Oh, we got to start. Just start it. We got to start that.
How do you deal with lying?
First of all, lying only comes, and like I said, we don't excuse lying.
We don't.
But the thing is, conversation has to be created in a safe place.
Oh, say that again.
Conversation has to be created in a safe place. So sometimes when we get information, to regurgitate that information, and when you regurgitate it, you know what that looks like? You know what throw up looks like in somebody's face? Sometimes that's what we do. When you get information, you need to take that information and take it to God, so that when we give something back, we're giving back what God gives us to give. Mm-hmm. We don't throw it back up in their face. So what happens is, because people don't want to get thrown up on.
Come on, they lie.
They lie.
It's not good.
It's not good.
But the
throw up ain't good either.
That's a protective measure. So to keep from having to deal with the throw up, I lie.
Yes.
Not me. I have. But I'm better. But yeah.
You have to create the safe place for conversation.
You have
to. One word my wife used to use to me is, baby, I'm coming to you as a friend. So you can talk to me.
I'm not coming.
So what that does now is, it says, okay, and it actually, and when she says that to me, it's like okay, I can talk to her.
He receives it.
I receive that. So we got to find those little words.
Yes.
Find those cue words because here's the thing. Know that the enemy knows everything that we like. He knows everything. He knows from the very how it looks, how it smells, how it's supposed to look.
To the tip.
He knows, and if the enemy can study all of this information, then why can't we understand how to be influential and allow the devil to be more influential than us? When God put us in the place.
Study your person.
Come on.
Study your person to find out how you can better talk to them to get them to feel more comfortable. Now, some people have a compulsion to lie.
Wow.
That's their mechanism.
Yes.
They have a compulsion to lie. See, you can't change them. You can't change it. You just got to know that you
yes.
married, or you dating, or you friends with a liar. but God can change the words that come out of their mouth, because only he says out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what you do is you continuously feed them word. You continuously feed them the truth. When you continuously feed them truth, then truth will come up out of them.
Yes.
They will be convicted about a lie. And you can only do that if you have the Holy Spirit living on the inside of you, though. If you've accepted Christ into your life. And that's the beautiful thing about being saved. It's not just to go to heaven. It's because now I have someone who can help me through this journey.
Yes.
I have someone who has a direct line to God. So when I'm talking, he can speak on my behalf and we can get some things done.
Mind Provoker said, my client told me I lie because telling the truth will have me sitting with a harder conversation, and I don't have time for that.
People so scared of hard conversations.
They so scared of being thrown up on.
Yeah.
And that's sad because that shouldn't be the excuse.
Yeah.
But understand, because it
is the reason.
But it is the reason. And you got to understand that there is a reason for everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're not excusing it. And it does cause a harder conversation, but who will feel comfortable to always talking in a hard conversation?
Sometimes you gotta create that safe space.
You gotta create the peace.
Heart.
Do you know how it is to talk to somebody who has no peace at all?
My goodness.
Do you know how it is to talk to somebody who don't feel at peace that
you
talking?
You leave frustrated and disturbed yourself.
You already first of all, you already dealing with what's going on.
Well,
and then now you gotta come and talk to with the person that you with.
Yeah.
You're already dealing with the actual percussions or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, whatever that thing it causing you. It's already bottling you up.
You already feel bad about
You already
it.
feel bad. So now you got to come and then talk to somebody who's going to make it. And you getting beat up more. Nobody wants to get beat up.
And that is not love. Some of us, we have to understand one of the fruits of the Spirit, and that's another benefit of having the Spirit living inside of you. One of the fruits of the Spirit is love. We have to start showing the fruit. God says you'll know them by the fruit. If I can't see your fruit, then I'm going to question, do you know him? But anyway,
baby, I gotta read this.
We got to go.
Mia said, Pastor Mia said, I like those responses because now I need to know what experiences taught you to run away from hard, uncomfortable conversations. Yes.
You're an adult now. It's okay. You're not going to die if you have a hard conversation. It's okay.
But again, like I said, we got to create that safe place.
You have to create it.
We got to create it.
Baby, we got to go.
We got to go. Quick thing, y'all. We thank the Shift Nation, y'all, for y'all showing up Sunday. Man, it was awesome.
It was amazing.
Man, we had over 20 people, 20 married couples in total. It was awesome.
Not 20 married couples.
It was 10 married couples that made. Yeah, it was 10 married couples and a couple of people that didn't make it, but we doing the next one. And we come in, man. We thank y'all for tuning in.
Okay, so listen, we have a 5-week course this time. See, that was a little snippet. That one was free. But we have a 5-week marriage course where we will be counseling couples. Now, if you want to sign up for that marriage course, please reach out to us. We have a QR code and we have the payment, the way you could pay so that you can go ahead and pay for your class, because when the spaces fill up, the spaces are gone. It's a 5-week course and it's going to be awesome. You will never experience another marriage class like the Shift marriage class, baby. And you better ask somebody that came.
Mind provoking. I'm sorry.
Babe, come on, we have to go. He
stated he doesn't like getting reprimanded from his wrongdoings.
Right.
When the intention was not to harm.
Okay, the intention wasn't harm, but listen.
The intention it wasn't. I'm sorry, y'all. We gotta go, y'all.
We
sorry.
have to be mindful of the time.
Listen, y'all. We're gonna have to do the after party.
Oh my Lord.
We're gonna have to do the after party. But we're gonna do this next week. Next week we're gonna finish this. We got more questions that we didn't get to, so we're gonna finish them up. Y'all tune in with us next week.
We gotta be respectful of the time.
And the week after, y'all, we got a dope guest coming on here.
Yes.
Robin,
just be ready for babe. Come on, for real.
All right, we gotta go.
Come on, babe.
We gotta go.
I'm
sorry. All right, Lord, we thank you. We honor you. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we absent.
Amen.
One from another. In Jesus' name we pray.
See, I got until next week.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for coming for tuning in to Shift Real Talk Tuesdays. I'm your girl, Lady Free.
And I'm your boy, Pastor J.
And we love you always.
We love you always.
Peace.
Peace.
For watching.